Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. It's me, the right simmer, watermelon, melon, whatever you want to call me. I go by everything nowadays. Just a simmer makes sense. Um, but anyways, hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing an apartment for the Wilkerson'S family, which I made yesterday. I'm trying to make a video and a TikTok every day this week to celebrate the Sims 22nd birthday. It'd be super funny if I was wrong, but I really feel like I'm not. So let's hope I'm not. So if you guys didn't watch that one or anything of the sorts, in the Wilkerson family we have a dad and his name's Demetrius, and he wants to be a musician, but he also likes to do bartending to make up some extra cash to help fund his personal projects, and then he works as an entertainer to help kind of network and get his music career off the ground. And he's married to a beautiful woman named Chandra, and she is working on kind of becoming a sim tuber, and I think eventually I think she'll do parent content with their daughter, Leandra, something of that sort. But yeah, she goes by Mom DIY, and so she does DIY crafting stuff, and that's kind of her career. And at one point, I think she's gonna want to go ahead and open up her own shop someday, so that's really cool. Their apartment, I pretty much mostly love it, besides Leandra's office, her maker office, because it's really plain. I just put the maker machine in there, I put some drones so she could record it and stuff, and that's about it. So nothing too exciting. So yeah, this is our kitchen. I wanted to make this thing work because I had never seen it before, and I was like, oh my gosh, storage, that's cute. um but yeah, so that's kind of the gist of the family. That's mostly what they're doing. And I may or may not be using them to do the perfect life challenge. I had a different family in mind, but I haven't made them yet, so I'm I may end up using them. I don't know. Um, but yeah. So, anyways, let's get into the personal nitty gritty. Let's have a talk. Let's chat. Let me have a therapy session or something of the sort. So, recently I've been obsessed with TikTok. It's crazy. I really understand why people love TikTok, because I do too. I mostly watch a lot of study talk, book talk, writing talk, and Sims talk. Well, I don't really watch Sims talk that much because I just haven't really found ones I liked very much. So primarily books, writing, and reading. Um, but yeah, so anyways, I was on TikTok, right? And during TikTok, there's a lot of people that just happen to show up on my For You page that are talking about obviously well, not obviously, but they're talking about mental health struggles, and how hard it is trying to work, be a teen, get out of bed, things of that nature. And I've incredibly related to that for so long recently. I don't really know, it's not fully COVID, but it's kind of COVID. COVID already took so much from us, and it's given us all a lot of heartbreak, a lot of our own difficulties and hardships. But also, it's just I personally, I felt I really got into a slump, I really just got, I felt different. At first, there was a moment where I actually felt great. I was getting a routine. I was finding the time in my day to do literally everything I wanted to do, and it was beautiful. And it didn't last incredibly long, for this reason and another. And I just got into a really hard slump. For instance, there was a period that I was doing schoolwork 6 hours a day. I was a study queen. I was so proud of myself. It was beautiful. And I was so sad that I lost that, because I was wow. But yeah, so I've just been feeling I'm constantly fighting in and out of a rut. And I'll admit, I did try therapy. I know, okay, so if you guys don't know, I'm black. I'm mixed, but we're gonna focus. There's a lot of stigma for black people about going to therapy, and it shouldn't be, but it's there. And I'm one of the people who I completely understand therapy. I support it, but for some reason it just feels it doesn't work for me. And I don't think I go in there expecting miracles, but there's just so many problems I personally have with going to therapy. For instance, I tried to go therapy, counseling, whatever. And for one, my school just does not have a lot of diversity when it comes to your counselors. And so I got a nice Caucasian lady. She was perfectly fine, whatever. But I kind of feel she may have okay, I could be wrong, but I feel like in my head that perhaps I'd do better with like a black counselor, like female too, just because like I feel like we'd probably have more to like understand about one another. Like I think she would be able to understand and probably knows what it's like to be like, oh, black, and like you're not really like jumping on board with therapy like immediately. And she'd be able to help like alleviate some of like that stigma that's set up. You know, because even though I like personally see like the good parts of therapy, for some reason like that stigma still holds. And it's funny because like my family for some reason is like kind of similar. Like at some point everyone's been to like at least one counseling session or something, and like we don't talk bad about it at all, but also like for some reason, and like you're not really like proud about it or anything, you know. I don't know how to explain it, or at least I don't know if I explained it well. So anyways, that happened, and I remember after a few sessions I was just kind of like, I don't really have time for this because I'm a huge overachiever. I'm a huge overachiever who likes to stretch yourself thin, and also I just was, it just didn't feel like a good use of my time. Like it was, but it wasn't. It was, but it wasn't. And I'll admit, like when I went, there were like two things that really bothered me that make sense for therapy, but it really got on my nerves. And one was that I hated that it felt like I was scheduling a time out of my day to be emotional. Like I kept going to my therapy sessions and crying. And like one session I went to, I didn't cry, and I was over here like I don't really feel like I got anything out of it, you know? Like I think she just listened to me rant, and then like she was like, I agree, like a friend or something. And that was it. And I was like, okay, this wasn't really a great use of my hour because I could have just called a normal friend and had them rent. And I'm in like university, so like counseling is like free, so at least for me it is. So it's not like I'm paying her, so I wasn't like super triggered, but like I was like, I got other things I could do with my time. And there's something super loud outside. I'm like, can you just like shut up? I think it's probably a train. But anyways, yeah, so that happened. And then the other thing I didn't really like is that on days when I would be so emotional and I'd really be opening up myself and I'd be talking and we would have like this really deep conversation, and it wasn't like any epiphany conversation, but obviously like she's my therapist and she's new and she like wants to hear all my stories, and I'm like, I think these are all the reasons I'm effed up. I don't know, like I'm just hurt. I was so hurt because a lot of like terrible things happened during COVID. Like obviously like a lot of terrible things happened for everyone. Like I lost people I loved. I was worried about other people I loved and about losing them. And I mean, school was stressful and like work was maybe like fine, I don't remember, but there was just so many things that I was like so emotional about, like deeply emotional, and that's just like new stuff. It's not even like in my core in the past this hurt me and I never got over it. Like it was none of that, you know. So anyways, the thing that irked me, and it makes sense, but I was so upset, is that like obviously you're on a time schedule, and so like I would be crying in the middle of what I was saying and she would interrupt and be like, I completely understand, or something like that, and be like, well, that's it for today, that's the end of our session, like I have to go, whatever. And I'm pretty sure I may have been like her last person she was seeing in the day, but I was just like, okay. And like I remember afterwards, like it did not feel good. It was as if like you were used, you know? Also, I didn't know about this little like bear thing, but it's so cute. I loved it. But anyways, like obviously, oh, and then I put like this little unicorn in the corner as if she like drew on it and like tried to hide it from her parents because she found out she wasn't supposed to. I thought that would be cute. But anyways, so I just was upset about it. I was very upset, okay? And I think that may have been, I don't know if that was my last session or a different one, but I went to like a handful of sessions and I was like, I'm done. Like, it's just not it for me. Like, I think the first time I stopped going was just because I was busy. I think I had like a homework assignment or a test, or I had something that I really needed to study for. So I was just busy. And then the more time that happened to occur, the less I wanted to be there. And they don't really call you up and annoy you to go. So like, I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore because it just doesn't feel worth it. And so, yeah. But the thing was, okay, so this is like super random, but that happened to me. I've been in a huge slump, and like TikTok for some reason like knows that and keeps showing me people. And there's like this one girl, I don't know her TikTok name, but if I like remember, I can find it, link it down below. But she does like these little like day in the life TikToks that are for people who are like going through it. And so it's basically like sometimes like when you're maybe like depressed or not in a great headspace, like even the most simplest humane things is like the hardest task in the world. And I kind of get that because like some days all I wanted to do was like maybe play Sims, or some days all I wanted to do was watch YouTube or TikTok. I remember there were days that like all I wanted to do was kind of lay in bed just because I didn't even want to consume media. And I mean, like my roommates, doing roommatey things, and like all my friends are working or doing whatever, and so all I wanted to do was just lay in bed and like not really have like, not sense the world, like not see all the bright lights, not hear any music or anything of that sort. So yeah. And like I would say I had like so many great days. So like obviously like to like my friends, it mostly didn't, like it didn't look like there was any issue going on. And to me, like I don't really see like there was a huge, okay, we all have problems. So I have like feelings, I have those days, whatever. For the most part, I'm like this personality, and I go to work and I love my work friends because like we're all vibing. But yeah, so anyways, a quote that I kind of want to tell everybody about that I've like loved and has actually been my lock screen for forever, but like for some reason after I put it on there because I loved reading it and was inspired, I never looked at it again. And the quote is by F. Scott Fitzgerald, and it says, "I hope you live a life you're proud of, and if you find that you are not, I hope you have the strength to start all over again." And I love that quote. And so the other day I was back home because me and my roommate were visiting our parents back home. And I had seen my parents. And while I was there, I had actually signed up for the LSAT. I didn't choose a date. I was just like applying for fee waivers and hopes to get some because nobody was trying to pay for anything LSAT law school related if you don't have to. And just like finally, I was doing it so last minute, by the way. I think it's due today, and I did it yesterday. But the fact that, like, just finishing that application made me feel so accomplished, So it just, like, really made me feel like I did something with my day. Because sometimes you get through your whole day, and you're like, what's the point? Like, what did I even do today, And, like, that's another reason, like, in random conversations, I will actually ask my friends, and I'll be like, what was the best part of your day? Or what was, like, the most productive thing you've done? Or what was something that made you happy today? Or, in general, I may ask, like, what's something random that makes you happy? And mine was at my Juma's house when I was little, right after it rained, her whole neighborhood would smell like this beautiful, like, it just smells like fresh, wet plants. But I loved it. So it's always the small things in life, really. And I also want to start scrapbooking and then just kind of like claiming those moments in the days when like there was something beautiful that you don't want to overlook, So I would definitely say for all you guys out there, if you're ever going through it, especially as university students, because all you have is the worst stress of your life. Or at least that's all I have. But I did it to myself, so I understand. Is when you're going through a hard place, find the people who you could talk to, do the things you love, and focus on the small things in life that make you smile. So please remember that. You guys probably didn't ask for it, but I figured that we would get real in this voiceover, because some days it doesn't hit the same. So let me just be open and express myself now. I do have a tour that I'm going to try to be cool and show you guys. And if it sucks, I'm sorry. But I'll do the voiceover for that later because I got to go to work. So, yes. Surprise, surprise. I'm back from work and literally it's the next day. So if I sound any different, I'm sorry. I haven't even spoken to anyone today. So my voice is not warmed up. But yeah, right after this, I'm gonna actually go to work and study and all that jazz. So hopefully it'll be great. I made a to-do list yesterday of like my 14-hour day. Okay, so like I made a to-do list of everything I wanted to get done, and then I said about how long it should take for each thing, and my total is like 14 hours, and I only got a couple things done because my friends distracted me. So I will say one of the most funnest, memorable parts yesterday was my friend and I went to so it was my roommate who's my bestie since like 10 years, like 10-year bestie, and then my we have a new friend who's like is kind of like a brother to us, and all three of us went to Okay, at first I just invited him over to eat cheesecake because I had a lot of cheesecake, and I'm going on a fast this month actually. Like today's my first day, and so I wanted to get rid of the cheesecake and get it all out of my house. So to do so, I like gave away a decent amount of cheesecake. I ate a little bit of it. I gave some to one of my friends at work. I gave some to this friend who like came over to get it after his shift. So he was just hanging out eating his cheesecake, and then I had given him like this proposition, like, oh, okay, so like we had invited a friend to be like, you want to go grocery shopping, literally randomly, just because we were like, why not, because we were gonna go grocery shopping, and he was like, he said no in a very nice way, and I was like, what a fake friend, as a joke, of course, but since this friend was here in person, I was like, hey, like, would you go grocery shopping with us, like, to hang out or vibe or something, and like hypothetically, and then he was like, it depends on a lot of things. So we ran through the list of it depends. And then he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, wait. Okay, if you're serious, like, hey, do you want to go tonight? Because we're going to go grocery shopping after I finish cooking dinner. So while he was eating the cheesecake, I was like making dinner for my roommate and I. And I was like, oh, you can hang out and chill here because homie. So anyway, he was like, yeah, sure, why not? And so he was vibing, we were all vibing. I was making like ravioli and garlic bread, right? This garlic bread will be like the worst memory of my life. So basically I had him like cook it, like bake it, because I don't know, he wants to do like all fancy. And I was like, go ahead, here you go. He eventually like opens the bag, takes out the bread, is cutting the bread with my new bread cutter, and then he realizes there's mold on the bread. And I was like, oh my gosh, no. And I was like, I just bought it a few days ago, and I'm not gonna lie, when I bought it I did not look at the expiration date, right? And so we look at it and I'm like, oh, it expires February 29th. And I was like, it should be good then. I also just realized my fan's still on. I'm so sorry, but I'm not going to turn it off because I have to go to work. But I was like, oh my gosh, no. So then I, like, as we realized, I was like, it shouldn't even be expired yet then. And then we keep talking and we're all upset. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even think we get a February 29th this year. So it's like, how old is this bread? Did they just like lie about the date on the packaging? Or like, is this from last year? Not even last year, whenever we did have a leap year. And I was like, oh my gosh. So that happened. So anyways, we were all sad. We ate the food and then we went to go to the store. And when we got to the store's parking lot, we were trying to find a spot, that one song that's like, I would walk 500 miles or something like that starts playing. And so we blasted at max volume and all scream sing this song in the store parking lot. Mind you, when we go, it's like somewhere between 11:30 p.m. to midnight. So yeah, it was great. It was so fun. It was chaotic and I loved it. It was a really great memory. And then afterwards we ended up like going to get coffee and it was a vibe. I love Bigfoot. Like Bigfoot Java, if you guys have ever had that coffee. It's so good, and a lot of them are open 24 hours, so you can get it whatever hour of the day you want. It's a blessing. So I like to get their sticky bun blended with regular coffee. And you can ask for that. Sometimes they have it, sometimes they don't. I think at one point it was seasonal, so now only some people know about it. And I don't think it's in the recipe books. And for some reason, whenever I Google it, I can't find it. So, you know. But, like, some people still know how to make it. And I'm like, thank you. But, yeah. I was actually really proud of this bathroom. And I didn't realize until right when I clicked end the video when I was building that I didn't show you guys me building the bathroom. I don't fully regret it because even though I think that like kids bathroom's super cute, this one's like kind of plain. It's fine. Like I just don't think like bathrooms are incredibly interesting, so you guys didn't really miss out. And then I realized that these plants were going through the ceiling and I was like, move on. But yeah, I tried to give you guys a tour. I hope you liked it. If not, I hope you liked this commentary. I know it's kind of a contrast from what I was talking about yesterday, but you know, that's fine. You always gotta look on the brighter sides, you know? So stay positive. Also, isn't Chandra just gorgeous? I love her. Love her. I know. Okay, I don't know why I had to like go through her face, but it's fine. But yeah, I don't know where my end screen is on my new computer right now, so I don't have one. But I hope you guys have a grand day, and I hope to see y'all next time. Happy birthday to The Sims coming up. Woo!